Today we are at Otter Creek Bend Wetland Park. We're going to learn about this wetland that is an ecosystem of water, soil, and all the interesting things that live here, from the plants and the animals. So let's get started in learning about our great wetland ecosystem. This area actually has quite a unique history. If you were standing here about 100 years ago, these cattails wouldn't be here, but corn or soybeans. Back then, farmers put drain tiles like this in the ground to drain the water away so their crops could grow. In 1996, the Park District decided this wetland was better than a cornfield, so they went in and broke the tiles. So now we have this great ecosystem to explore today. In order to recreate this wetland, we had to actually get into the wetland to see what makes it work. We got our fancy boots here that help us get through one of the basic pieces, which is the hydric soil, part of the geosphere. The second is the water that's here, part of the wet land. That's the hydrosphere. And the last part is the plants, the hydrophytic plants that support part of the biosphere. But what makes this ecosystem really cool is some of the critters that live here. Let's take a look at some of those animals. In the spring and early summer, this place is full of the song of frogs. These amphibians are just a few members of a diverse community. Snapping turtles, mayflies, and grasshoppers find food and shelter among the cattails. Even coyotes make their ways to the wetlands, but each has a specific role to play. For example, this beaver is an herbivore. It chews down trees for food. The energy it gets from the trees allows it to be able to build its dams and lodges. Omnivores and carnivores eat plants and animals for their energy sources too. But where does all this energy come from? It comes from the sun and the plants. The plants go through photosynthesis. The reason why they're green is their chlorophyll. The chlorophyll absorbs the sun's energy. And when we mix the carbon dioxide that we exhale and the water from the roots, then we can have the plants go through photosynthesis to create glucose, which is the sugar, which is the energy that fuels the rest of this biosphere. In this biosphere, we have different types of animals. We have herbivores. These primary consumers eat plants. We also have omnivores, secondary consumers who eat plants and animals, and carnivores, tertiary consumers who eat only other animals. All these animals make up part of our energy pyramid. But when these animals and plants die, decomposers come in to eat their remains. This allows for the recycling of matter and nutrients in the ecosystem. But all this cool stuff wouldn't be here if it weren't for the soil and the water that the wetland has. The wetland contains fresh water, vital to our survival. Imagine that this jug represents all the water on Earth. But in this little jar, this is only all the fresh water we have. Very, very little amount. But as you might guess, these ecosystems are dynamic. They're constantly changing. Just a few months ago, this bridge was underwater. This whole area was flooded. And now things are very dry. Mother Nature gets a little wacky, sometimes giving us too much water and sometimes too little. Drought or flood, this ecosystem is an example of how wetlands use water, soil, air, plants, and animals to keep everything functioning normally. The sun's energy is cycled through the food chains. The matter is recycled, and future generations can grow here year after year as they reuse all the materials here in our wetland. So if you get a chance, come on out, check out this muddy slice of heaven. And until next time, have a great day in the wetland.